When this young girl's mother died and their abusive stepfather takes advantage of her, their life suddenly turns upside down. One day as she tries to protect her younger sister, she accidentally kills her. With this, they took her in a mental institution. But while at it, the girl develops a new sense of purpose that eventually helps expose a dark web of conspiracy. Hey guys, welcome back to I Am Movies. Today we're looking into the 2011 American psychological fantasy action film titled Sucker Punch. But before we jump into the details, make sure to show us some love by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Now let's get right into it. The movie begins amidst the backdrop of a stormy night, where a 20-year-old girl known as Baby Doll receives the devastating news of her mother's passing. Overwhelmed with grief, Baby Doll rushes to her mother's bedside to say her final goodbyes, accompanied by her younger sister, who shares in her sorrow. At the same time, Baby Doll notices her stepfather cast an evil smile at them as he watches them mourn. After the funeral, the stepfather's greed and anger boil over as he reads his late wife's will. The document reveals that she has left him nothing, instead bequeathing all her possessions to her two daughters. Enraged by this, he angrily destroys the will in a fit of rage. Later that night, Baby Doll comforts her sister and then puts her to sleep. However, as she leaves the room, she gets confronted by her stepfather, who appears drunk in the hallway. Upon realizing his evil intentions, Baby Doll tries to escape into her room and manages to scratch him in the face as he attempts to get hold of her. This angers him further and he proceeds to lock Baby Doll inside, choosing to take advantage of her younger sister instead. However, the younger sister escapes the room and locks herself in a closet. At the same time, Baby Doll escapes through her window, and as her stepfather breaks the closet door, she appears behind him holding a gun. Baby Doll shoots at him but misses. However, her second shot manages to piece through his hands but unfortunately kills her younger sister. Upon realizing what had just happened, Baby Doll rushes over to hold her sister, and in a fit of rage proceeds to point the gun at her stepfather once again. However, Baby Doll finds it hard to kill him, and she eventually drops the gun and runs away. Shortly after, the police arrive and Baby Doll gets taken into custody as her stepfather blames her for the incident, declaring her mentally unstable. Following this, Baby Doll gets euthanized and her stepfather transports her to a mental hospital called Lennox House. On getting to Lennox's house, Baby Doll gets forcefully taken into the building by two nurses. While filling out her status form, Baby Doll's stepfather records her as being violent and a danger to others. Afterward, they all meet a senior staff of the asylum named Blue Jones at the end of a hallway. As Blue receives them, Baby Doll notices a special key hanging on his neck, which he uses to open all the doors as he takes them to a place called the theater. At the theater, they see other young female patients, and Blue introduces them to Dr. Vera Gorski, the head doctor at Lennox Homes. Dr. Gorski is known to use music to help her young patients socialize in the theater. Meanwhile, at this time, Baby Doll's stepfather discreetly bribes Blue, asking him to make sure Baby Doll loses her memory so she won't be able to later reveal the true nature of the incident that led to her sister's death to the authorities. Blue promises to forge Dr. Gorski's signature to approve Baby Doll for lobotomy, a surgical procedure that will render her memory permanently gone. However, Baby Doll overhears all of their conversations, but remains speechless, as she still finds it hard to grasp the weight of what has befallen her just a few days after her mother's death. Days later, as Baby Doll integrates into the mental institution, she observes the place and spots the map of the asylum in Blue's office, a lighter in the hands of the chief security, and a knife in the kitchen. A list of items that will later prove useful for her redemption. On the day of the lobotomy, moments before the surgical procedure, Baby Doll suddenly finds herself in a realm where the asylum now appears to be a brothel. In this realm, a girl named Sweet Pea, who happens to be the star of the show, plays the role of a patient about to undergo a lobotomy. Also, Blue appears to be the gangster who runs the brothel, while Baby Doll's stepfather appears as a priest. Shortly after, Blue introduces Sweet Pea to Baby Doll, who had been supposedly brought in from an orphanage by the priest, intending to sell her virginity to the high roller. Soon, Blue asks Sweet Pea to show Baby Doll around the brothel, but she instead instructs Rocket, her younger, to do it. However, Baby Doll spitefully spits on the priest, prompting him to angrily curse at her as she follows Rocket. Rocket immediately becomes friendly towards Baby Doll, assuring her that she will get used to the place in no time. Soon, Rocket takes Baby Doll into a room where they receive clients and also reveals to her that they are the main attraction, as Blue also runs gun deals, gambling, drugs, and other illegal kinds of stuff. Afterward, Rocket takes Baby Doll backstage and shows the cleaning closet, revealing that the newbies are expected to do the cleaning. Shortly after, a bell rings, and Rocket reveals that it's time for rehearsal. Soon, Rocket introduces Baby Doll to the other girls, which includes Amber and Blondie, and then reveals to her that every girl is mandated to learn a dance routine they'll later perform to guests. Later that night, Baby Doll cries in the bathroom after realizing how shitty her life has turned. But Rocket joins her and manages to comfort her. The next day, Rocket gets caught by the chef as she attempts to steal a box of chocolate from the kitchen. The chef, however, pins her down and attempts to take advantage of her. Baby Doll hears Rocket scream and she immediately comes to her aid, holding the chef at knife point. With this, the duo runs out of the kitchen, and they soon hear the rehearsal bell ring. At the rehearsal, Dr. Gorski, who appears to be their dance instructor, scolds Sweet Pea for missing her dance steps, and then calls Baby Doll to the center. Dr. Gorski plays a song for her, telling her to let the music sink and then dance. Baby Doll, however, refuses to dance as she appears to be clueless about any dance move. With this, Dr. Gorski walks up to her and tells her that she has no purpose at the institution if she doesn't dance, and that her fight for survival starts right there. As Dr. Gorski once again plays the music, Baby Doll closes her eyes and immediately finds herself in a fantasy realm, standing in front of a temple. Baby Doll walks into the temple where she meets an old master. The old master asks her what she's looking for, and she tells him she needs a way out. The old master agrees to help her gain freedom and then hands her a sword, revealing that she would need a total of 5 items for the journey: a map, a knife, and a key. Seeing that the list is not complete, Baby Doll asks him about the 5th item, and he tells her that the 5th thing is a mystery, hinting to her that it is the reason for her journey and that she is the only one who can find it. Shortly after, the old master retreats into his temple, leaving Baby Doll to face 3 giant warriors. One of the giants launches the first attack by kicking Baby Doll into the temple. However, Baby Doll defends herself against each of his strikes, and she manages to maneuver herself, flying in the air as she dodges his blows. Baby Doll eventually lands a cut on the giant's knees and then cuts off his head. Shortly after, a second giant launches a rocket and immediately opens fire on Baby Doll. However, Baby Doll manages to dodge the bullets with extraordinary speed and skill, swirling in the air as the bullets fly past her. However, as Baby Doll continues to get closer to the giant, she throws her sword at him and then jumps to shoot it directly in the face. With this, Baby Doll confidently goes to face the third giant, and she instantly kills him with 1 strike, proving she has great strength despite her small size. Back at the rehearsal, Baby Doll opens her eyes and finds everyone, including Dr. Gorski, applauding her for a great dance performance. At the same time, Blue also stares in shock because he had never imagined her to do so well. With this, Baby Doll realizes that she now has a purpose. That night, Rockets praises Baby Doll for her performance, but Sweet Pea didn't seem impressed since she used to be the star of the show. Later, Baby Doll tells the group about her plans to escape, but Sweet Pea objects. Blondie also adds that the last 3 girls who attempted it ended up dead. The next day, Rocket tries to convince Sweet Pea that Baby Doll's plan may be worth it, and Sweet Pea disagrees. They soon begin to argue about it, and Rocket tells Sweet Pea about how Baby Doll had saved her from the chef. At the same time, Baby Doll walks in and reveals to them that she needs to escape before the high rollers come for her in 3 days. With this, Baby Doll turns the back of the blackboard and writes out 4 items that they'll be needing for their escape plan. The first one is a map of the institution, which is in Blue's office, something to start a fire with, a knife for protection, and Blue's master key, which he always wears around his neck. Baby Doll manages to successfully convince the other girls to participate, and Sweet Pea volunteers to get the map. With this, she goes to Blue's office and informs him that Baby Doll is dancing. Blue leaves his office to go watch Baby Doll dance, and Sweet Pea uses this opportunity to make a copy of the map. Back at the rehearsal area, everyone watches as Baby Doll prepares to begin her dance. She closes her eyes once again, and finds herself back in the fantasy realm, but this time in a war zone, with the other girls alongside the old master serving as their commander. The girls appear to be fighting against the Germans as they attempt to retrieve a map that is being protected by German soldiers. The commander instructs them on the mode of operation, and also encourages them to work together. Amber goes into a war machine, and the rest soon open fire on the German soldiers. Baby Doll shoots down a plane, and Amber launches her machine into the air as she begins to attack enemy aircraft. Following this, the girls manage to get into the enemy trench. The girls soon get outnumbered, but they manage to fight their way through using their exceptional fighting skills. Rocket later gets held at gunpoint by some soldiers, but Sweet Pea comes to her aid. They finally make their way to the enemy bunker to retrieve the map. Soon they are met with resistance from a half-dead looking German general, who eventually knocks Baby Doll down. However, a part of the bunker suddenly collapses on the general, and one of the soldiers begins to run away with the map. Baby Doll goes after him, but he manages to escape by getting into a ladder attached to an aircraft. Shortly after, the general alongside one of his soldiers tries to set up a machine gun to kill Baby Doll, but she swiftly kills them and then uses the machine gun to shoot the aircraft's engine, prompting it to crash. Baby Doll gets the map from the soldier, and while at it, the general, who happens to still be alive alongside several other soldiers, holds her at gunpoint. With this, Baby Doll throws the map into the air, and as the general attempts to shoot her, Amber crushes him to death with the war machine, and the other girls open fire on the soldiers. Baby Doll straps onto the machine and they project into the sky. Back at the rehearsal, Baby Doll finishes her dance and everyone applauds her. Following this, Blue excitedly commends Dr. Gorski for her efforts, and then suggests that Baby Doll go on stage, but Dr. Gorski rejects the idea, stating that the girl is not ready. However, Blue boastfully reminds her of how they all belong to him, and instructs her to make sure Baby Doll appears on stage the next day. As Blue returns to his office, he notices that the photocopy machine is warm, which means it's been recently used. He also notices that the maps have recently been moved. The following day, the girls tasked Amber with stealing a lighter from the mayor, who would be attending the show as a special guest that night. The mayor is known for always smoking his cigar, and the girls are using that to their advantage. Later that night, the mayor arrives for the show, and Blue warmly welcomes him. Soon, Baby Doll performs her dance, while Amber successfully steals the lighter from the mayor. Baby Doll, however, goes into Fantasyland again, where the old commander instructs them on an aircraft to go retrieve 2 crystals alongside a baby dragon from its mother in a burning castle. But before they leave, the commander warns the girls not to wake the mother dragon. The ladies make an iconic drop right in the middle of a burning castle war. However, they are soon confronted by some creatures, but the girls manage to shoot them down. However, the monsters keep pouring out, and the girls use their swords to fight them, ultimately killing them as they make their way into the castle. Meanwhile, the monsters soon begin to attack Amber's aircraft, but she manages to fight them off. At the same time, the other girls finally see the baby dragon lying in a pile of human skeletons. Baby Doll proceeds to slit the dragon's throat, and they immediately retrieve the crystals. Baby Doll strikes the crystals against each other, and it creates a beautiful fire. However, this fire soon gets consumed by a greater fire, and the mother dragon soon appears. Upon realizing that its baby is now dead, the mother dragon begins to seek revenge and soon goes after their aircraft. Amber manages to fly away from the dragon while Blondie shoots at it. Moments later, the dragon gets hold of the aircraft's tail, but they manage to escape from it. Frustrated, the dragon decides to go after Baby Doll, who tricks into a small entrance. The dragon spews its fire, but Baby Doll stylishly swings into the air and then drives her sword into the dragon's head, ultimately killing it like the warrior that she is. Back at the show, the mayor applauds Baby Doll as she concludes her dance, and Blue also begins to cry, proving how impressed he is. In the dressing room, the girls congratulate themselves for the success of their mission, and Baby Doll proceeds to hide the lighter underneath a drawer. Shortly after, the excitement ends as Blue walks in with 2 of his guards and reveals to them that he knows that something fishy is going on, stating that he knows that one of them entered his office. Blue proceeds to grab Blondie by her hair, and then threatens them of what's to come if he finds out about their schemes. Afterward, he warns them to stop whatever they are planning, and leaves. Following this, Sweet Pea tells the girls that the whole escape scheme is over, but Rocket disagrees with her, stating that they are close to finishing. The argument soon escalates, bringing a rift between the 2 sisters. Moments later, Blondie breaks down in the music room as she gets caught between choosing to escape and staying. Dr. Gorski soon sees her crying and tries to comfort her, telling her that everything will be fine. Blondie attempts to confide in Dr. Gorski, but Blue unfortunately walks in at that same moment. In the kitchen, the girls plot to distract the chef with Baby Doll's dance steps, but Baby Doll decides to give up since they couldn't get the others to join them. As Baby Doll apologizes to Rocket for disappointing her, Sweet Pea walks in, and to their surprise, she asks that they go ahead with the escape plan. Soon they set the stage to perform for the chef in the kitchen. After sealing the doors, Baby Doll begins to dance, once again transcending into the fantasy world. This time, the old commander instructs the girls to track a hijacked train carrying a bomb, and then deactivate the bomb. The said bomb is set to detonate once the train gets to the city, and the girls set out to do their job. Soon they land on the train and begin to exchange gunfire with robots. They all fight the robots bravely as they attempt to gain access to the bomb. Shortly after, they manage to get rid of the robots and then attempt to lift the bomb out of the train. While at it, a robot gets back up and hits Rocket off. The robot successfully reactivates the bomb, but Baby Doll shoots it down afterward, leading to the mission failure. With this, Baby Doll snaps back to the kitchen where the chef regains himself and catches Sweet Pea attempting to steal his knife. The chef angrily hits her and then grabs his knife to stab her, but Rocket takes the knife instead. Baby Doll closes her eyes and returns to the fantasy world, where it is revealed that Rocket and Sweet Pea are left alone on the train, but Rocket's jetpack is broken. With this, Rocket launches Sweet Pea's jetpack, and she dies alone in the train. Back in the kitchen, Rocket dies from the knife wound, and Sweet Pea mourns her sister's death. However, as soon as Blue walks into the scene with his guards, he angrily instructs Amber to go get ready for that night's show. Afterward, he also instructs his guard to go lock angry Sweet Pea up in the closet, stating that the show will continue regardless. He then turns to Baby Doll to remind her that the High Roller will be having her soon. Later that night, the High Roller arrives for the show, and Blue goes to address the girls concerning the incident. In his speech, Blue reveals that Blondie had snitched on them, stating that he now knows their plans. Blue grabs a gun from one of his guards, but as Dr. Gorski tries to stop him, he hits her and threatens to shoot her. Blue proceeds to open the board to reveal the planned items they had listed. Afterward, he shoots Amber in the head for conspiring against him, and then proceeds to kill Blondie for being a snitch. With this, Blue returns the gun and asks that they get the bodies out. Moments later, Blue tells Baby Doll that he is changing his mind about selling her to the High Roller, but chooses to have her for himself instead. Blue suddenly grabs Baby Doll and tries to have his way with her right there. However, Baby Doll manages to grab a hidden knife and stab him in the neck. She then grabs the keys and goes to set Sweet Pea free. Following this, they set the closet on fire, and then proceeded to escape using the map. After unlocking several doors and managing to dodge the guards, the girls get to the main entrance where they meet more guards. Here, Baby Doll realizes that the fifth item the old master talked about is her sacrificing herself. With this, Baby Doll proceeds to confront the guards, but one of them knocks her out, allowing Sweet Pea to quietly escape. Meanwhile, Baby Doll finally meets with the High Roller, who reveals to her that he's only willing to have an intimate time with her, if she agrees to it. Following this, Baby Doll falls for his kindness, and she decides to willingly give herself to him. Back in the asylum, the lobotomy expert finishes Baby Doll's surgery, and he's shocked to see the look on her face. Shortly after, Dr. Gorski walks in and the surgeon asks about Baby Doll's history. Dr. Gorski tells him how Baby Doll plunged into depression after her mother's death. However, Dr. Gorski also reveals that Baby Doll has only stayed for a week, but she has managed to stab an elderly, start a fire, and even help a girl escape from the asylum. Curious, the surgeon asks Dr. Gorski why she recommended lobotomy for her in such a short time. Looking at the documents, Dr. Gorski realizes that Blue had been forging her signature. Meanwhile, as soon as Baby Doll gets taken out of the surgical room, Blue orders the reluctant nurses to place her on a chair for him, as he attempts to force himself on her. Blue begins by kissing her, but he gets angry as she doesn't respond. However, the police arrive just in time and they arrest him. Finally, Sweet Pea manages to steal some clothes on her way and then escapes to a bus stop where she attempts to board a bus. However, she gets stopped by some cops who appear to have been looking for her, but the old master, who appears to be driving the bus, convinces them that they've got the wrong person and that she's been his passenger all along. With this, Sweet Pea joins the bus and she finally regains her freedom. And this is where our story ends. If you'd like to see us recap any other movies or topics you have in mind, just drop a comment and let us know. And don't forget to hit the like button, share this recap, and subscribe to stay updated for the next one. Until next time.